here we go. Going live. So welcome to ION S and C Radio. This is your host, Jeremy. This week we're going to talk about the carnivore diet. I get a ton of questions each week about eating carnivore, how to do it, what it is, some other questions about it. Just kind of a background going back. I've tried pretty much every diet there is. I've done paleo, counter macros, what else? Zone diet. I did that, and I've done them all. They all work. They've all worked for me. Anything that you can stick to for a extended amount of time, as long as you follow the parameters for it, you're gonna see results. So I'll start with that. Second of all, there's nothing that this diet isn't better than any other diet. It's not worse than any other diet. It's just something that's relatively new. I think there's a lot of talk about it as far as effectiveness and all that stuff. But anyway, I've been doing the carnivore diet since about 2018. I tore my bicep, and I had just heard probably a month before I had heard this guy. Forgot his name. Can't think of his name now. He was on Joe Rogan. He's the guy. He's the biggest promoter of the carnivore diet. He's the guy. Sean Baker. Dr. Sean Baker is his name. He's the biggest promoter of the carnivore diet. Anyway, he was on there talking about it. I was like, wow, that sounds pretty intense. Sounds crazy. But like I said, I tore my bicep. Had surgery a couple months after that. And I didn't want to blow up because I knew I wouldn't be able to work out with quite the same intensity. And, I felt like if I wasn't working out as hard that, my eating would get worse. And so I'd probably just get fat, basically, is what would happen. So I wanted to avoid that. This sounded interesting. I wanted to experiment with it anyway and give it a go. I tried it for 30 days, liked it, stuck with it. Yeah, that's pretty much my, I've been on some form of that since 2018. So going on 4 years now. So what is the carnivore diet? Carnivore diet is basically just eating meat, and that's it. There's practically zero carbs, so it's protein and fat basically is the only macronutrients you get. Why do people do this? So I didn't have any of these issues, but there's been talk of people that, I don't know if you've ever heard of Jordan Peterson, but if you've heard of him and his daughter Michaela, they had these autoimmune deficiencies or autoimmune issues that switching to this diet has helped them clear up tremendously. And there's tons of stories on line about people that this has helped with those types of issues, rheumatoid arthritis, other things with your skin. Forgot the name of that. Eczema, stuff like that. I've heard they've mentioned that it helps with that. So that would be some of the reasons why possible health benefits of going with something very strict. And it's more of, I think it has more to do with eliminating some of the shit that might inflame those types of things, because you lower inflammation by not having so many carbs. And so I don't know if it's necessarily that specific diet that works, but this one seems to have some effect on those types of issues. So how do you do it? So you can do 100% carnivore and all you eat is meat. And I did that at the beginning, but I've since kind of scaled it down. I'm probably in I'd say 85% range. So meaning I probably go or somewhere around 50 carbs a day, in that range. Try not to go over that usually. And then the rest is just meat. And yeah, so you can kind of scale it, still get pretty good results. So at 80%, even 70%, I think it loses effectiveness if you go down any lower than that. So, if you're gonna do it, you probably need to get it somewhere in that 75-80% range at least. And so that means you're allowing for yourself cheat meals and whatnot. But I'll cover some more of that in a second. So like I had mentioned, every time I post something on Instagram, like Q&As, I get a ton of questions. Or if I post my food on there, I'll get a ton of questions about, the carnivore diet. And these are some of the common ones. So what meats are allowed? basically anything that's a protein is allowable on that. You can have fish, you can have chicken, you can have pork, any kind of beef, obviously. Organ meats are fine, all that stuff if you like that. Um, Basically, any kind of meat is allowable. Hamburger, ground turkey, whatever it is, anything like that, as long as it's just protein and fat. Um, Another question is grass-fed versus the corn-fed or the organic or etc. All that stuff. To be honest, I don't know if it matters that much. If you talk to experts, they say it doesn't mean anything as far as long-term health. I don't know. I buy grass-fed and I like the grass-fed, and I don't know if it's necessary. I do feel like it has a little bit better taste. I don't know. The last time I had a regular steak, I don't know. It just doesn't have that same. I don't know. There's just a different flavor to it. And if you've had it before, if you had both before, you can tell that. So does it matter? Not sure. Not 100% sure. I would say, it can depend on, if it's a difference between getting something that's not grass fed, but it's less expensive, then I would say I don't think in the grand scheme of things it's going to be horrible. So is it, the next question I always get is, isn't it expensive to eat like this? So I don't know. If you think about it, when people, like my normal day when I was, worked, I was a welder for a long time. And when I worked, I remember spending probably around $12 for breakfast, somewhere around $15 for lunch. And then I would be having a meal at home. So, I mean, I was probably somewhere in the $30 range every day spending for food. On this carnivore type diet, we get all the food on Sunday, somewhere around, for two people, it's around 200, 250 usually for all the food for the week. I mean, divided between, 7 days, what is that? That's like, it's approximately the same. So it's not much more expensive than eating out all the time. And it actually, you end up eating a lot less overall. There's none of the munchies, there's none of the snacks, there's none of the other bullshit that goes along with eating a regular Western diet. Yeah. So no, I don't think it's not much more expensive, if more expensive at all. You can get cheaper, like I said, I get the grass-fed shit, so it's like $20 a pound. But you can go to Stater Brothers, find nice New York or ribeye. Sometimes they have them on sale for $6.99, $7.99, stuff like that. So I mean that's $100 right there. You could for the week, and that would be more than enough to get you through the week. Or if you're not down for that, or if it's not on sale, hamburger meat, in a pinch, whatever it takes. A lot of this is just it's fuel. So I mean, can't get too caught up if you're trying to save money. Yeah, it's not going to be gourmet meals, but it's going to be enough fuel to get you through your day. So the next question always is about cholesterol. What about your cholesterol? So I'll preface this with, I'm not a doctor at all, and I don't know, to be honest, I don't know shit about all that. I don't know how all that works. I've heard people say, if you eat fat, you're going to get cholesterol in your blood, and it's going to stop your heart and you're going to die. And then I've heard the fat that you take in doesn't affect it. I'm kind of leaning towards that more. So I had a blood test back last September. My cholesterol was 270. Mine's always been high. I've never had it under 200. It's always been, at the high end, so like 220 to 290 usually. So anyway, in September it was 270. All I've been doing is been pretty much on my 85% carnivore diet, meaning I have about 50 carbs a day. And my last reading was 220. So I lost 50 points by not doing anything extra. Workouts were the same. Nothing really different. And so the difference, I guess, between those two, maybe over the summer of last summer, I kind of went a little bit off, enjoying my summer. Probably had more beers, ate more junk food over the summer. So I'm assuming that's raised my cholesterol level. And so, yeah. Staying stricter since the beginning of the year, dropped it down. So that's all I got. That's just that's just one example of someone that it's helped. And there's tons of examples. If you look online, there's tons of people that would say something along the same lines. But again, I don't want to give out a recommendation and say, oh yeah, it'll cure your high blood pressure, because or high blood, not your high blood, high cholesterol, because I mean, I don't know that. I can't guarantee that. So check with your doctor or do the investigation for yourself. Look it up online, listen to a bunch of different sides of it, and see what you think, and decide for yourself. That's usually the best way to do anything anyway. Don't take the word of some doctor, and don't take my word, obviously. So, the next question: how much should you eat a day? How much meat? So, right now I'm at about 1.5 pounds of meat a day. Usually I eat New York and ribeye. So 1.5 pounds is about 1,500 calories. Plus all the carbs that I have, the 50 carbs, I'm probably somewhere around the 1,600 calorie range. So that's probably like a slight deficit for me. Just trying to lose fat too. When I would go back to a normal eating regimen or, like a maintenance, I would probably eat around 2 pounds a day. So 2 pounds a day, 7 days a week, 14 pounds a week of meat. I mean, you can do the math on that. If it's $10 a pound, that's $140, as far as like budgeting for something like that. Yeah. So, and I don't typically snack outside of that. There are few through the day. Maybe I'll have some pumpkin seeds or like some beef jerky here and there. Probably totaling up to maybe another 100 calories or 200 at the most. So, I mean, at the max, I'm getting 1,800 calories a day. Yeah, so it's not as much as you think or would think, and it's probably not as expensive as you would think. And then the last question is always about cheat meals. Are cheat meals allowed? I mean, for sure, like to say that I never have a cheat meal would be not true. I probably have, at least one or two a week. But what I would say is if you are significantly overweight or you're in the 30 to 50 pounds overweight, I would avoid that for a couple months, at least till you get down to like, within 10 or 15 pounds of your goal weight or goal body fat percentage. Then you can add in some cheat meals. And cheat meals meaning eating whatever you want. Like I don't play the game of like eating the keto fucking cheesecake or the diet candy bars or any of that shit, diet donuts or whatever. Just go have it, you know what I mean? And then the next day go back to your normal routine. I just don't think I think people think that those things are safer because they say diet or they're GMO free and all this, all the code words, paleo friendly and keto friendly, all that stuff. It don't matter, man. Like if you're gonna have something and it's good and you like it, just go for it. And then the next day do better. And again, I'll just restate this. If you are 30 or more pounds over your goal weight, you should not think about cheat meals. You've had your cheat meals. You've had enough of those cheat meals. You're already in this position where you need to fix that. So avoid the cheat meals until you get closer to your goal weight. That's it. That's all I got for this thing. Now, if there's any more questions, you want to add any more to this, hit me up. I'm always available. I post questions on Instagram a couple times a week. You post on there if you want some more clarity on anything I talked about here today. So thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you're checking this on YouTube. If you are listening to this on any other platform, please feel free to share this. Trying to grow the community and trying to grow this podcast, blow it up. So any referrals would be greatly appreciated. Thank you, and check us out on Insta at CARNIVORE S and C. And where else? That's where I post mostly. The website's ionesandc.com. And yeah, I think that's it. Right on. Well, thank you guys, and we'll see you next week.